welcome to the Antidote Foundation Vukubone Conference 2022. I have a very interesting panel. Yeah, my industry leaders, experts in the arts, lana Eswatini. So, on my far right, I have Zwane, who is a label owner, Swazi boy. He's also a music promoter, events promoter. He started his career as an attorney. He holds a BA in law. Round of applause. He is one of the leading exponents of the club scene, lana Eswatini. He's worked with various clubs and he's brought various concepts such as the House Fest. I'm sure most of you are aware of it. So that's Zwane, ladies and gentlemen. To his left, we have Vusinkambule, who is the arts manager for the Eswatini National Council of Arts and Culture. I said it correct. So Kasolo works for the council in the arts department. On the side also, he is very involved in the arts. He has a sound hire service, and I think he'll tell us more about that as well. Round of applause for Kasolo. To Kasolo's left, we have Thobile Makhoyane. Thobile Makhoyane is a master of musical sorcery. She is a founding member of Spirits Indigenous. She's worked extensively in the region, the Southern African region, predominantly South Africa and Mozambique. She is also heavily involved in dance. She's heavily involved in drama and theater as well. She's performed in major stages such as Bushfire. What is this one in? Let's Go, Us Go. Yes. And also she has worked closely with a South African band, an all-female band called the SheKings. Round of applause for Thobile Makhoyane. Next to Thobile Makhoyane, we have Oriiginelle. Now, Oriiginelle is a breakout artist, indisputably the hottest right now in the kingdom. She is a specialist in her field. And one interesting thing about Oriiginelle is she is morphing contemporary music with the African sound that is what we have been looking for as eMaSwati, to find that authentic sound. So she has been exploring and experimenting with that sound, and I think it's very commendable, the bravery and the courage that she's taken. Oriiginelle has worked with really great artists in the region as well. One of the notable artists she's worked with, you might know, is Pete Dotto from Pretoria, very big artist from South Africa. And round of applause for Oriiginelle. Next to Oriiginelle and next to me is Rendition. Rendition is the founding member of MotherLand X. We've seen MotherLand X curate huge events, lana Eswatini. They've been affiliated with Pop Sunday as well. They've been affiliated with The Kitchen, Maker's Market at Guba. Um, I know you're waiting for this one. Grammy Award-winning. He's worked with huge artists such as Black Coffee, Sooks, Una Rams, as well as Hanwa. Let's give Rendition a huge round of applause. Let's also give ourselves a huge round of applause. So, guys, I'm going to start us off on this one. I'll insert myself. I am an artist, a creative. I've been in the creative arts for about 15 years. I have my hands in a lot of things, music, photography, theater, and most recently I started a job at a reputable law firm here in Mbabane. And the reason for that is because I don't quite see the money, you know, in the arts. And I would like to know from you, Gutsi, is this a wise decision to hold a job on the side and then also pursue the arts in order to perhaps feed the art with this money that is coming from a 9-to-5 so that I can advance myself and my music since we're trying to go forward, yes? So I'll open it to my panelists.
I can start. Yeah, so it's very wise to actually have a job because of the country we live in, first and foremost. Like Swaziland is a very unique place, like compared to the rest of the world, because we have a very high unemployment rate. We also have a lot of issues, but also on the positive side, we don't have a lot of examples or references to say this is what a successful artist is. So because of that, it allows you to create something from scratch, meaning you get to design your path and whatever you want to do. So having a job will sustain the art, meaning you need money. Like recording needs money, beats need money, marketing needs money, visuals need money, distribution needs money, publishing needs money, lawyers need money. I can go on for days. So you need money. So you have to be able to survive until the business turns into a business, because before you actually start putting out music and making money from it, it's not a business. So yes, you have to have a job to balance it out. But I can also say, I can speak for myself, I've never had a job. I'm 30 years old. I've never had a job like in my life, because I knew from a very young age, I knew exactly what I wanted to do. So because of that, I just took a decision, and I was willing to do anything. I was committed to see through. But in order to subsidize that, you do things like events, merch. I also produce for people, so I charge fees. I also have publishing, so I get a catalog. I build a catalog, and then how can I explain this? The catalog is your investment portfolio. So until your catalog starts making money, and not necessarily just streams, but things like publishing, when like a movie or a TV show or an ad picks up your song, already your song generates money. So until that point, you have to get a job or figure out how else you can get money. Yeah.
Can I just add to that? Financially, it is important to have that job so that it can fund those dreams of yours, because as Rendition has told us, Loguti, it's a lot of money to make music. It's a lot of money to release music. But also, you also need to take a gamble on yourself. Myself, for instance, I actually just quit my job today. Today. So, you know, I know, it's very scary, trust me. But, you know, like, so during the week, it's the 9-to-5, the 8-to-5 rather, and then the weekends, it's the music. But I saw Loguti, in just 2 days, I'm able to accomplish so much. So what will happen if maybe I have those 7 days, you know, to work with? So sometimes it is a gamble. Sometimes you just have to bet on yourself and just go for it and see what you can do. But Nakona, you also have to be aware, Loguti, okay, if I do quit, this is, these are the steps that I'm going to take, and this is how my money is going to be generated and everything. Don't just, leave and not have a plan. You do have to have those steps in order for everything to work out. Don't just take a gamble. Yeah.
Yeah, for me as well, I think I also have never worked ever in my life, and I'm 42 years. I turned 42 this year, this month. So I have never I've never worked my life except for on stage. I call the stage my office. So whatever I have to create as income, it has to be either me or use the opportunities that are there. But I always create whatever that's going to bring me income on stage. It has to happen on stage because that's where my office is. That's where I usually say I was born. Ngiyathi ukuthi ngaba nema question mark ingcumbi, but that's where I actually feel I am myself, and I can create whatever, and I can be whatever for money when I'm on stage. So that is my way of saying, yes, you need to be working. I play Makhoyane and Stolotolo, and it doesn't have imagete, that alone, especially La Ekhaya. So I have to create the jobs myself on other stages and look into other stages, and that is where I can say I work, because whenever I'm watching people's shows, I'm already creating, and I allow myself to not fear this any kind of stage. Anything can be staged on me. I have before performed on a train. It's basking, but I made money out of it. But I was just moving from another beach to another beach through a train in Cape Town, and I just started playing, and I put Stogo, and that's a job. So you just continuously create income through your work, through your art, through your craft. So that's also a work. So that's we are question. Yes, you do need to work, even if it's the art itself. You still have to work. It's 9 to 5, but unfortunately with the art, it's like 24/7.
Afternoon. I'm Vusinga Mbule from Arts and Culture. Yeah, but I like the way the last speaker was actually articulating that if we start calling what we do as work, then it becomes clear, because when it's work, you have to put a lot of energy to get something out of it. What we've seen, I've joined Arts and Culture since 2003. I was fresh from university. It happened that he happened to be my classmate. After university, I went clubbing. I was a DJ, and I tried joining the industry because, we did Sandla Samtsarati then. We did that, yeah. And after that, then I was a resident DJ. It was a first to be a resident DJ, to be given a car as one of the benefits. We got a housing. We even got allowance to buy music. That was 2001 and 2. That was Club Jupiter in Venice and Tiger Seat. So and we had a full tank for a week. So one full tank per week. So we were getting paid. It was 1,000 rand a month, but with all the benefits, we were fine. And life was good until it happened. They closed the club, and we had to start looking for jobs. So I joined the newspaper industry. I was an entertainment editor, and I felt like, so I had that experience. I could see what was happening as in terms of like the arts. I'll make an example of the South Africans. They'll come to Eswatini, and the first thing you'll ask them, how is Swaziland? They'll always say it's nice. They'll never say it's bad because they know it's business. Whatever they say, it's business. So you ask them for interview, they'll give you interview. You ask for pictures, they'll give you pictures. By then, they'll bring even CDs. I mean, so now you could tell that these people are in business. But they are with us as Swazis, not that with us as Swazis, we have to separate the passion and the business. A lot of us in the arts for passion, not for business. So now, my responsibility at the office as Arts and Culture is to help, make people realize we can survive through the arts if we can run them as businesses. So, what Mshana was saying now is in a formal employment, trying to supplement the arts. Yeah, it's a local tendency, but we are hoping as government we want to. We want that to end because we see there's a lot of talent in Eswatini, and it's more likely in the next 10, 20 years the arts will be the biggest employer in Eswatini.
Sanbonani. My name is, let me just say I'm Shadow, so that it's easy for people to recognize. Swazi Boy, entertainment lead. We do marketing, events, whatever, something in the industry sector. So I've never worked for anyone in my life, anyone. And people, BA, LLB. Thank you, my good sir. Please, must introduce people properly. Thank you. Okay. The question was, should we work and be part-time with my arts? It depends on how you feel. If you feel like you can sustain yourself doing both, do it. If you feel like you can sustain yourself just on the doing arts only, do it, and you'll be sure. And I've made sure that I'm not a burden to people by having kids all over the country and still saying that I know I'm going to work for myself. No. So make sure that you are very disciplined when it comes to the arts, because the arts is a very dangerous place. It's a very spiritual place to be, so you cannot just mess around. Most people die because they fail to understand and respect the arts. Because this space, they can tell you, I can see Thobile is there, Senetisiwe is there, we have Vuma, Tipo, because they really understand what's going on. I'm sure Nalumzala Lapolo Solo Janaye Utavum. This is a very creative space and it's very spiritual. Respect that. So if you're gonna go into this, make sure that you are 100% in. Then you will make it. Trust me. It may not happen there and there, but it's gonna happen at some point in time. So when we're driving up Navusi, I was saying to him, you know, my biggest fear for the industry as a whole is that people from outside are gonna come in and take over and run this place, because we are not, I don't know whether we are not getting what we really should be giving. Let me put it that way. We are not giving. Because let me make an example. If you look at all the big events in the country, Bushfire is the biggest event in the country. It's like 20 years ahead of every event that you can think of. Eswatini. We try. When we try to say, you know, Siyasonzela, Jigs would be like, take the ball and just kick it like, you know, it's impossible to catch them. So when you go to Bushfire, you'll be like, yo, no man, this thing's too much, it's big. But let us, as the small and upcoming ones that are coming after us, you've got a better chance of making it than us. So it's in a way we've been pushing and pushing, but the people that you can relate to, our people are retired. Most of them are retired. They've got families, they've got kids, some are dead. But gulogo kusho ukuthi manje our time in the industry is becoming limited, and the niche is becoming smaller and smaller. So, but you guys here, I follow most of you on Twitter. I do it on purpose. Not that I'm begging anyone, I'm not. But I have to know what's going on. I have to know. So even you guys here, some of you, it's like the room is like we are less than 100 people in this room, but most of you don't even know who you sit next to. You know them, but you can say, I know him. You know, I know Rendition. You can Bugela Kashan. So you guys don't even know how you can leverage off each other. That's the problem. We had a network. When I know, like, if I really need sound, when really push comes to shove, I'll call Tom Lin and say, Tom, I don't have money. I'll give you your money. Give me the sound. I need it delivered today. And things will happen. So I will say this. I know most of you. I think I saw. I don't think she thinks I don't think she knows that I know her. What's her name? Sanilo. Where's she? Where's she? Oh yeah, they dope artist. You know, I know them because I'm in the space. I have to know. Okay, this one's for this one. I can use this one for this one. I can help this one here and there. You know, Nandlovu njela po amangalo lokuthi ngiyamati. Umfebulu lomkhulu. You know, I have to know because it's the space that we're in, because sibangani, so we have to know. And I can tell you now, there's so many powerful people in here, if you guys can come together, you can be a powerful force and force the hand of the corporates. Yeah.
All right. So I think if I can condense what I'm getting here is, perhaps I phrased it wrong to say job, 9 to 5. Most of what I'm picking up here is work. You just need to work, and it needs to make you money. It needs to be perhaps various income streams. And the other thing that I got was that core. You need to be catapulted from the core of what you do. The arts should then open this web of other income streams. Thank you for that.
Can I make one more point? Is that talent is equals to business. Every time when you wake up, if you're an artist, which means the business is open. So, always, you should know that. When you go to sleep, when I wake up, you're vula sam. So, that's business. That is what we should always, whether you're a poet, creative, photographer, videographer, whatever, in the creative space. Thanks.
Okay, I heard Uncle Malume here say, back in 2003? Yeah, they had car allowance, they had gas, they had a house. I don't know if a lot of us can say that here in the audience, our generation. And so I'd like to find out from the panel if they think that the arts industry here at Eswatini has advanced from the time that they entered into it until now. If they could perhaps give us specific examples on if it's progressed or regressed.
Sorry. Maybe let me just give a little bit of a background. I mean, from 84 to 94. There was a lot of, arts industry, or like I'll say the entertainment industry, was really big in Eswatini as compared to South Africa. You can list your Peter Tosh, your Randy Crawford, your Joanna Tradings, your Eric Clapton were like it's some short. Even Tottenham Hotspurs was even played at some short. So the industry was like booming. So now, unfortunately, we also had the King's Trust. That was, it's the biggest, concert in Southern Africa was here at Somhlolo. And why was that? It was because of the political situation in South Africa. So it gave us space to benefit as Swazis. So we didn't take our chance as a country. We just relaxed. And I remember when I started my work at Arts and Culture, I was going through a file. UB40 was planning to come to Eswatini. And part of, as I was going through, they were requesting something like $1 million. That was in the, it was in the, when was UB40? 98 or something. Then they moved to Mozambique. So now, why am I bringing this? This is because I just want to give you the highlight that at some point we had the opportunity. So now, but what I see now, when from 2003 to now, I see that as a country, you guys, you've worked so hard, where it's now we're almost getting there again. And it presents so many opportunities. Thank you, sir.
Yes, to add on to what he's saying, we are progressing. I think the one thing we get mistaken is the standards. Who sets the standards for what a successful artist is? Or there's something else as well. We may all be in this room and all be in the music industry, but we are not all looking for the same thing, or are not in it for the same thing. So it's very important that you first determine what it is you want to get out of it. Milestones, even in business, they speak of objectives and milestones. So having that will actually help you to track your progress. I'll give you an example. Let's say you create furniture. I'll move from the arts industry. Let's say you create furniture, even though it's still art, I'm sorry. Yes, let's say you create furniture and you want to start a furniture business. You see Louis and you see other furniture businesses as big as they are and doing what they do, and you want to compare yourself to them, or you want to try to be them. But all you have to do is just create a piece of furniture, just one, and then find a customer, and then sell it, exchange money. Just like that, you have a business. And then do that over and over and over and over. You'll get a lot of no's. If you do it 100 times, you'll probably get 80 no's. But out of the 80 no's, 10 will say maybe, 10 will say yes, or 5 will say yes. Yeah. Then you just keep doing it like that. So the industry is progressing. I met Oriiginelle 2016, I think. We worked in 2016 in Pretoria. And fast forward a few years back, we're on the same panel. So you decide. I'm a very stubborn person. I've never depended on any organization, any government, anything. I've just been by myself with my people. So I find young people that I can work with and I can assist. And then when I also need assistance, I can pick up the call and they always answer. So yeah, I think it is progressing. It is progressing. It's just that you have to look at it from a different perspective.
Okay, yeah. I think I concur with both speakers. Yeah, for me, I think Vusi, pre-2010, I think Swaziland was booming. Eh? It was booming, and I can tell you now. When did we bring black coffee? We brought black coffee in 2004, 5, somewhere there. Between 2004 and 2006, yeah. Black coffee, I think he came for free because Christos came through. And we gave him the biggest break ever in Swaziland. We gave him. Now, the guy, I'm not even close to the money he has, bro. He's got so much money. But the thing is, like, I want to say, the pre-2010, Swaziland was way ahead of South Africa. Way ahead. In terms of, even our sound systems in the clubs was way ahead. You would go to, even the flyers and the posters, we used to get good graphic designers. Then 2010 hit in the World Cup. When 2010 came, the South African government put in money. There was a whole lot of money they put in the industry. Even the hotels, everything else. Everything changed. The hospitality industry changed in South Africa. So what happened is that when you're hoping for the same result over and over again, forgetting that those people have made so much strides. As it is right now, it's very difficult to get funding for money that's sitting maybe at the Ministry of Commerce, you know? If, for example, Snetisiwe needs to go to Germany for a performance, it will be difficult. If Vusi says it doesn't have money for Snetisiwe, she's stuck, you know? That's sad. You know, I was looking at the logos here supporting this initiative. I don't even see one corporate except for Destiny, you know? You know, it's sad. It's sad. At some point in time, I feel like we are progressing, but at the same time, I feel like it's meal. Yeah, one. The problem is that it's meal is because we are not getting the numbers into the events. We need the numbers in the events. And the question that I have every night before I sleep is that what can be done to improve the numbers? Because if the numbers improve, which means it's a better payment for our artists, you know, it should be easy for me to take out 10K and pay Sanity C for a performance, pay Sanelo 15K for a performance, you understand? But right now, there's no money circulating in this industry. That's the biggest challenge that we have. But in terms of talent, Jesus Christ, you can't touch this everywhere. The creatives. I always say Sika grade 1. Sika grade 1, why? Because she said the funding. But in terms of talent, she's a Waterford. You understand? You know. So, yeah, so for me, it's both. You know, we are there with people. Incredible talent, dog. Incredible. You know, I saw your performance when you went to Yali. Like, everybody was going crazy. But then what? You know? So, I think more than anything, it's up to us to actually start thinking, this is the arts we need to try to push in the same direction. Yeah.
I think just to add to that, with regards to Le Talent Vele, it is progressing. If you look at how we consume music and how creatives are now able to do as they want, it's definitely much better than, let's say, 2010. I think I call it 2010, meaning. Now, compared to when I started, because, you know, it was always hardcore bars, all of that, you know, because that's what everyone wanted then, hip-hop-wise. But now I'm able to sing whilst I rap. I'm able to speak about my relationship with women even. And I'm not even questioned anymore. It's just a thing of, okay, this is Oriiginelle's music, and, you know, you listen. You know, there's no more, hey, wendani lo, wendani, and so on. Everyone is free to do as they want now, which is definitely something I appreciate as a creative now. But with regards to the circulation of money, I think we're definitely backwards right now. It's not the time.
Nami, I would say good progress compared to Nankala Kibela stage. Like what Vusi has said, Gutsi, there were periods. Meaning Nankala Kibela stage International Trade Fair, 1999. And I remember ukuthi besidlala I think backtracking el cassette ayinange CD, but we did what was done at that time, and international trade fair was big at that time, was very big. And I remember na backstage nje for mina bengisuke ekhaya mina eLuve, and ngibele amabhasi kusethe nemakhumbi. And I remember nangiya at that time ukuthi I felt very special ukuthi I'm at the backstage with Bolebo Matosa and Ingane Zoma, the music that I was eating as well. And fast forward to now, then kwaba khona la ukuthi vodlo khona. Okay, I also took another path, indigenous music, like at the Buwest Boo path, like batakbuwa usengaqala lokuhlabela because uphethenal selwa and abadi noma utobaloya noma utobendani. Some will just boo you ungaka qali usesemile nje usababingelela. They're already booing you. And then fast forward to Nyalo, ngiyalaleleka. Last week at the kitchen I was playing for the audience Lencane Labangaga, and they received Makhoyane. So kune progress, and I wouldn't angeke ngihlale nganibonga ishado. Ngibonge bo mosaic, ngibonge bo rooted souls, ngibonge bo ninevuze angidabuye ngenibonga. Yeah, but not Nyalo. So yeah, but basically, it's, look, what also the Swazi artists are doing. Nana na kuyayifaka le sandla kule ngcubekela phambili. Le ngcubekela phambili leyafakwa sandla semthakathi. So ngebesi ne party nakune sandla semthakathi was rocking, guys. You missed out. Then sengadalo. But then yeah, progress. Same people. Gunebo house fest. That's also a level like nale crowd. Let's say figure logo. Years ago, maybe bebangeke Sandla Semthakathi wouldn't have recorded maybe what Swazi boy in a house fest is recording right now. So it progress icon as a regress.
Hello? Okay. Maybe I just want to share what Mr. Zwane was actually saying about the talent and the business. I think it's fair to say it's the right time to call for our local artists to consider doing business in the arts. So doing business in the arts, it means have those business principles. Like I'll make an example of COVID in 2020. So when COVID hit us, everyone was in crisis. Our artists were struggling. And now when we approach bodies to say can we help our artists, can we intervene, see how we can help them to survive. And the biggest challenge was, how would you identify this was an artist? This person was, yes, it's a Liswati, it's got a Swati ID, but how can we prove that he's doing business in the arts other than a fly? So now it's time we encourage our local artists, our creatives, consider doing proper business by do register your business as a business entity. Because a lot of, even groceries, even hawkers have been, receiving grants that were actually just to, COVID grants. But for us artists, it was a struggle to get those grants because we couldn't prove that our existence or our income was, affected by COVID. And we also have, there's so many financial support that is available in so many institutions in the country that are to assist local businesses. So now, if we classify or we register our creative as a business, we can benefit. Like Shado is making an example of, Senators who are going to Germany. You know, there is a funding with Central Bank, where as an artist you can go and access. You say, I've got a booking in Germany. Here is a contract. I need $10,000 to do this gig. They just give you that money, you go and do the gig, and you come back and you pay with no interest. But it's there. Those are some of the support that we have. It's only that we don't go out to look for those kind of information. So I want to encourage each one of us as a creative. Let's do business the proper way. Okay.
Okay, wow, progress. Okay, I guess this is a very salient point in that we need to legitimize our arts. As arts practitioners, we need to register our businesses so that we can access grants and funds, which is a perfect segue to the following question that I have. In your opinion, ladies and gentlemen, how do you think the government of Eswatini, corporates, organizations, and the people of Eswatini can contribute into assisting the artists, babambisane, with Emma artists in advancing this industry of ours? Which specific ways do you think these three entities I've mentioned, government, corporates, and the people themselves, can play a crucial role in helping us advance the arts from where they are now?
Can I start? Or do you want to start? Yeah, excuse me. So, I think where we are right now, everything that most Swazis have been able to do, they've been able to do it by themselves, and that's the honest truth. These facilities and these organizations and these corporates that are there, they have their own people, and that's the honest truth. Like, it's a silo. We work in silos in Swaziland. So you have a crew from Manzini, you have a crew from Babani, you have a crew from Ezulwini, and we just work with each other, we book each other. When we get a deal, it just circulates around us. So that's the first issue. But we also suffer from a lack of information. Like, there's so many organizations and foundations and our embassies, I'll just say even embassies, that have grants, they have programs, projects that are available to anyone and everyone around the world. But the government specifically has a role to play, because of us as artists can't necessarily access these opportunities because we aren't an organization. We aren't registered as an entity. Even if you are, you still need to show them your balance sheet so that they see, for the past 3 years, this is how much revenue you've been generating, this is how much tax you've paid, this is how many people you've hired, and this is how the project is going to help everyone else besides you. Right? So that's where the government comes in. Before I get to the corporates, the government's job is to pinpoint the people that are doing a great job already. Start there. Don't start from grade 1. Don't start from grade 1 from a blank page and say, I'll find young people to develop. Because before you can do that, you have to show us you've been able to do it. I'll give Melly and Sizo as an example. The reason I'm even here is because I started with these guys a really long time ago, and I've seen their work ethic, and they say what they mean, and they mean what they say. There's no two ways about it. So you need, it's the government's job to identify these people who are making moves or using their own resources to basically mobilize and help people. So that, you take someone from point B to point C, not from point A to point Z, right? So we can start there and then also move on. But with the organization, so yes, there's grants, you have to apply. You can just go to, you can go to the US Embassy, you can go to EU Embassy, you can go to any embassy, and then you can look at the opportunities. You can even speak to them. Like, sometimes you get scared by the fact that these are organizations, but like you just have to go and ask sometimes, and then you get the information, and then see if you qualify, see what you can and cannot do. Corporates. I've also had the opportunity to work with corporates. A specific role that I played with Pop Sunday was, I realized with Bushfire, they had a title sponsor. That was like, I noticed that from like way back. I was like, not many events in Swaziland have a title sponsor, and a title sponsor that's like FNB or a bank. So like for the 2 years that I was working there, my job was obviously to source talent, but also to try establish partnerships. And yeah, as we were talking about regressing and progressing, the fact that FNB is now a title sponsor to a show like that, a show that is started by young people as well, so that's also possible. So you have to approach them with something already there, a proposal, show them your track record, show them what you can do, give them solutions, because that's what they're looking for. So if you can do that and just take chances, yeah, there's so many things that can happen. But also, don't rely too much on other people. Work on building yourself up, and then everyone will come to you because you have something of value to offer.
Actually, that's where I was. Good see. We can just work hard on our craft, work hard on ourselves, and just master it in such a way that it's irresistible. It's irresistible. And nangabe shoguti. So approach naleyo entity, naleyo hulumende, approach with something solid. Le tosi no mangabe bona ukuthi okay, I can't afford. Afune negotiator rather than ukuthi asudlala ngathi wena. You understand? So at least ufake emandla kulo msebenzi lofuna ukuthi bawubone. Yeah, for me, I think rendition ukhulumelo.
Okay.
I would be like that the whole time.
Okay, I feel like the role of government is that it's huge, it's big. I remember when COVID, we were trying by all means to get the industry open. We tried and we tried. We wrote letters to the parastatals. We were working with him in terms of trying to get the industry open. We were saying like the saddest part was that we were the first people to be closed and the last people to be allowed to operate again. That was the sad part. But we tried. In essence, the government has got a huge role. It's just that it depends on which ministry are you looking at. If you're looking for something specific, for example, you would want to get to do an event. An event, but when they think of event, maybe that's that's how the industry is painted anyway, by both corporates and government. But the fortunate part right now is that there's young parents now, and their kids, most of them, some of you maybe Bobo and Lana are CEOs or something, or chief marketing officers or whatever. So it's going to open up. It's going to open up. We just have to be patient a bit and just work on the craft. But another thing that we've tried to do as a company, Swazi Boy, is that we did something silly. It's not silly. I'll say silly because of how some people perceived it. We started the social media awards. When we started the social media awards was to create a space for creatives to thrive. You know, we've got decors, we've got bakers, we've got cooks, we've got photographers, we've got videography, poets, artists, DJs, you know. It's a whole lot, a pool of creatives. We did that because when we sat down with the team, it was like, no, man, the government is not taking this sector seriously. So the COVID helped us because everybody was online, at least sitting at home. At least it helped us to say, okay, at least Nyala would be able to push the narrative to say, we want people to notice this sector. lokuthi bangathi babuka ukuthi kunabo DJ kuphela nama artists nama poets, then they forget the other people who play a big role in the sector, you know. So we started that so that we can have that base of creatives. For example, last year we included the influencer part. The influencer part, for example, Oriiginelle can go to Coke and say, I can rap about your product. Let me influence your product. She's a rapper. Without rapper, apinze a influence. You know, that's an opportunity for you as an artist. We don't want to have people coming from outside, the beautiful chicks that are all over the social media, they're beautiful with a huge following. They are killing it. They're making a lot of money. Where else the money should be here, should be shared amongst these creatives here. So, Joba Asho, Rendition, work on your talent, improve it, so that you can be able to get the money from government and corporate. You can even government itself. They used you people. You're one of the people on the billboards for the COVID vaccination drive. Yes, you were there. Noma Lungelo was there, I remember. So let's get government and to give us the money. So in this sector, so which means we've got a huge role. Then talking about people in Swaziland, hey, I've got a problem. Hey, they don't take us seriously. Let me make an example. Say, for example, we've got a big concert, normal million, you know, big concert with all the artists, Oriiginelle, Rendition, DJing, Bobo. Everybody here, there's a DJ. Then somebody throws a party, with free alcohol, which is gonna be packed. You know, people are gonna go to Lagnechuala corner. That's the sad part, you know. So I think then becomes Lagit Loguti. If you're an artist, you cannot go Lechualen and leave your fellow colleagues Babe Bot Vangal. Say to the guys, I say shine 1212, you know. I think that is where the mentality shift should start, Lagit, before we can even get these people to really appreciate and start getting support from government, corporates, and the general public. Thanks.
Can I just add one last thing? Also, we shouldn't be too hard on ourselves as Swazis or as creators, because we just use what we have and we try our best. That's all you can ever do. All you can ever do is try. If someone else judges you or thinks a certain way, it doesn't matter. All you can do is try and just focus on that until it actually gets you somewhere. Because only you know the work that you do, and you know if I'm supposed to do X amount of work and I don't, even if I can lie to myself and say, hey, I'm going to blow up next year. But like if you haven't done the work, like if there's no effort, there won't be the results. So like we should always be trying with the effort, just like as much as you can, reach out to any opportunity that you can and utilize it to your best advantage. But also the money conversation is not just an arts thing, it's a whole country thing, but no one wants to talk about that. But also, you just have to figure out your people. For example, we have maybe 40, 50, 60, 70 people, I don't know, here. You're supposed to get everyone's email addresses, as I'm sure Bomeli have been doing, something we've also been doing, like creating our own database as the MotherLand X. So anyone that comes to our show, we try to grab their email address. So now we're in direct contact with you. We have new music, you get it first. We have merchandise, you get it first. We have a show, you get it first. So it's a direct relationship. Because with the streaming, for example, you can have 2 million streams. You don't know who's streaming your music. They can probably show you location-wise. In Texas, there's 200 people. With this one, you get a name, a surname, a number, an email address, and a location. And this is a client you can grow with for the next 50 years. So focus on building that. Even if you're not 50 of my fans, and you're selling T-shirts that are 200 Rand, that's revenue. Shows, etc., etc. So yeah, just take it a step at a time and don't be too hard on yourself.
Wait. Oh yeah, thank you. Maybe let me just share the government, initiatives that are there that are ongoing that seeks to actually to uplift the arts industry in the kingdom. How many of you are aware that we have expressive arts in all schools in Eswatini? You're not aware. You're not aware that our kids now, they learn music, they learn drama, they learn fine arts in all public schools. It's called expressive arts. It's in grade 4 now. That is one way. It's one of the. Okay, basically why I'm raising this is because I just want to share you that there's so much that is happening on the ground which a lot of you are not aware of. That is why probably you may be calling that government need to support ABCD, when in actual fact you're the people who should be telling the government where you want this kind of support. Where government should come in. We have the National Arts and Culture Policy, which which gives a direction where the arts should go. You should come and participate when we draft those kind of frameworks, because that is where you tell government exactly what kind of assistance or support you need. But if you don't attend those kind of exercises, then it becomes a little bit difficult to relate, because government has other programs, and you think maybe government should be giving us money, when government is actually like creating a conducive environment for a creative to exist and to survive, not to survive, to earn a living. So now you should come and influence those kind of policies. I think early next year we'll be reviewing the National Arts and Culture Policy. So that is where you should come and make those contributions to say, this is what, or this is how we want government to participate in the arts. Because also from the National Development Strategy, which is the government national strategy, come and participate in those forums so that your voice can be heard, so that it then gives, government, the direction. Because, like I always make an example, when artists come to the office to say they're seeking assistance, I say like, it's much easier when you say, Vusi, I'm here, the policy say this is what should be happening. Like, I'll make an example. The National Arts and Culture Policy says there should be at least 4 regional festivals in Eswatini. So now, if you come as Swazi boy and say like, no, Article 4 on the policy say there should be a festival, so I'm doing that festival. So give me that money that government has allocated for the festival. So now it becomes easy because you're like, oh, okay, now we're implementing the policy. So that's how we should be having this kind of conversation to say like, the policy say this should be this must happen. So I'm here to just do that. So I'm inviting you to come and participate in those kind of forums where we are developing, or we are shaping policies that are shaping the industry.
Thank you very much for that one.
Thank you. Sorry, can I just add? With regards to the government aspect of it, I feel as though this is like from the start. Kuvuli business nje. I don't know how many of you guys have a business that you've registered, a couple. And from those couple, how many of you guys know about the cool drink system? You see, you've never used it. Yeah. So it's things like these where like you need to go above and beyond to just do something that it's basic, you know. So we should have those platforms from government, lokuthi baside easily, it should be something that we know of. So would say, okay, if you want to start a business, this is what you need. So the ease of starting up a business should be easy. It really shouldn't be difficult, if we're being honest. And then on top of that, this is where then corporate can also come in. I mean, I don't know how many times a day we get Emma SMS from MTN or from Standard Bank, if you bank with Standard Bank and so on, things that you even, when you open, you're just like, you put it aside. But this is where corporate then can come in with government to say, okay, government, what have you done to make it easy for people to start up their businesses and so on? We have that platform to send those SMSs and reach the masses. So then that's where they come in and say, hey guys, did you know about this and this and this the government has started? And to just basically share that information. So one, government needs to make it easier for us to go and say, okay, as Oriiginelle, asengiyovula vele le business ya Oriiginelle, And then on top of that, corporate then comes in, bangsendele ma SMS, so I'm like, okay, it's actually, it's easy. I can do this, I can do that. Ntinga form change, ntinga knock, and so on. Because corporate has informed me of all these things. So I think that's definitely where government and corporate can work together with that.
And just to add one last point, you look at places like Silicon Valley and also Israel. Israel is known for being the #1 country that creates drones, as well as they have a high-tech industry. Their tech industry is insane, but it didn't just happen. It's not like a couple of people just came together and said, yo, let's make this place the best. So the government had a very specific role to play in driving the conversation, driving the execution of the strategy, and also getting to sit down with the people and just figure out, okay, what do you guys need? Because, for example, if I'm the government and I'm looking to get into the insurance industry, I'm going to look at the top 5 high performers there. And I'll obviously call them in, sit them down, try to look at their progress, look at how they do things, and then only then will you get solutions. You can't get solutions from just assuming like, okay, I think this is what they need. For example, a studio, every artist needs a studio. Like even if it's just one studio in the whole entire country, that would do a major difference. Equipment, cameras, all these things. These are things that I've even started like taking steps towards achieving them, because I saw that if I keep waiting for people, it's going to be a problem. So I went and approached the organizations, had a proposal and everything. So going through specific things to actually solve that. Even things like writing camps, whereby you just get a bunch of, we have so many artists here, you just get maybe 15 artists, take them to a very specific, I'm also giving you something that I haven't even, I signed an NDA for this, but it's fine. Yeah, so you take the artist, you get them to a spot, maybe you pick 15 tourism hotspots in Swaziland, like Mlilwane, so that you get to kill 2 birds with one stone. So you work with the tourism authority, you also work with whoever else can come in. But the idea is you get people like artists and producers and songwriters, and you take them into one space for a weekend and they get to create, and then you take that, you put it out, you present it to the world the way you want it to be. So you can use visuals, you can use whatever else, but the equipment is already there and it's bought by the government. That's just something that's simple that can be done, and it will cost less than 100,000. But obviously there's corporates as well and there's organizations as well. So as opposed to us going one by one to these organizations, it's best that we all come together and figure out a way to approach these people and ask for, like for example, a creative fund can also help in Swaziland, having a specific fund that deals with creating the sector. Because I feel like in Swaziland, we almost believe like, I don't think they really believe that the arts industry can add to the economy. They do believe that bushfire can add to the economy. But the arts industry, I think, is a completely different story. And those two things are not the same, but yeah.
My question here is, because I heard Angel Malume saying that we can influence policy, and it seems to me that we need to speak as one voice, as a unified front. And Rendition said, lana kangwane, we work in silos. In most talk shops that I've attended, I usually hear this come up. we need unity. We need unity lana Eswatini. It seems that we are very aware of the fact that we need this unity, but seemingly it's elusive to us. Senda njani ke lokuthi si create leyo unity and si maintain, so that when we approach organizations or corporates or what have you, sikhulume in that one voice instead of being silos. What can you suggest we do lokuthi si create phindze si maintain le unity lesihlale sikhuluma ngayo?
Mina, I would think singafuna sicale la kuthenini si identify le nto lesifuna kuyenda, kungabi ukuthi sisato kutawufuna ukuthi sihlanganele ukuthi la sihlangana khona sitohlangana ngoba bosizo sebasihlanganisile nge conference yabo noma ke I round table bushfire kube khona that thing leto phindze isihlanganise beyond nje ngabekisa. I'm sure some of us we are part of cooperatives, maybe at Inkundleni Tethu. I don't know, but have you ever heard of an artist cooperative? Azange nami. So something like a cooperative that we know, Gutsi, we are part of maybe a women's cooperative, Enkundleni Yagethu, or what. But artist cooperative, cooperative is well, it's easy to speak and be heard, lagangwane, in terms of kufuna funding and stuff, because vele we meet at a regular pace. And sikhuluma tinvo letifaka ikhatsi tsine as a cooperative. We have the objectives as a cooperative. So tifuna ukuthi sihlale sihlangana leto tinvo leto lawo ma objectives atofuna ukuthi sihlale sihlangana. Yebo wona kufaka ikhatsi ukuthi kufuna subscribe sifake imali. Ngaleyo Leo move already ukuthi kufuna ngifake imali ukwenda ukuthi already ngiyathi siqibuse ngisemacebesha, and then ngicibona nakathi ngisemacebesha awuthi ngoba ngiyathi ukuthi kunana igenge lebuya eAustralia letela umhlanga awuthi ngithole ecibo angifakele emacebesha lang 5 ngiyabekisa ngifaka imakhaphi yami sengidoba nemali yokuhamba ngiyofaka ku cooperative yabo, but still here solo sihlangene. So those kind of meetings now kuyafuna ukuthi si swacabang kungabi ukuthi sitawuhlangana nase kumele sihlangane nje kaso yabo. There's ways le cooperative, I think mine is because I love virgins, so I think it's a virgin platform yethu, because and lenye info lengicabanga ukuthi singayenda ma collaborations. When we speak of collaborations, kungabi ukuthi we just collaborating on a track or we collaborating on kube collaborator ukuthi okay, if Swazi boy has a house fest, maybe I am not going to be performing, but I can be an artist manager backstage. Yeah, understand. That's also a unit. That we are also siyahlangana kanjalo. And identify le tinvo letasihlangana as artists, and we keep them and we do a follow up. And some of them vele akusiwo ukuthi kudinga ukuthi kube ne follow up ukuthi sistomela vele ukuthi basite round table in. We about those kind of things. We have to meet once a month, or every 2 times a month, 2 weeks or something. Like if I'm going to build a concept, okay, I will go to maybe Vusi and ask for, but I will go to Vusi and ask for lelo sito in terms of sound, ne? And maybe Vusi we are ibuka le concept kuti maybe it won't work, but so I have to put my sound there. So I know if I rock in shadow, kutaba nemehluko le concept ya Thobile. Ngaleyo ndlela there is unity
Yeah, Thobile.
Yeah, well,
And
like,
yeah, I've seen Shadow. They did it
they
with
did
Big
it
Five.
with Big Five, yeah. And
Because you collaborated with, I think, about 5 stables.
Yeah, we
Coming together.
just took up, I went around and I called all the big players then in the industry to say, no, gents, let's come here and do this event because we can't be fighting for the same cake. Unfortunately then, Swaziland being Swaziland, somebody thought, I can make more money when myself, because the problem is that if you're a leader, that's another part. If you're a leader, you should always see the vision, know the vision, and make sure when you have the vision, you impart it on the people that are coming after you or the people that you're working with. You know, we cannot make 1 million when we've got 1 million people in the country, because some are old, some are young, which means we can maybe get 30%. Let's work on the 30%. If you get 300,000, fine, well, good enough. Let's continue building that. On top of what Thobile is saying is that I think as a country, we need to understand the whole team. We need each other. You may not need us because we're old, but you, at least you need each other. You understand? You know, I go to events, I go to events quietly, I pay, I go in. I've been to Pop Sunday, I've been to the Hangout. I've missed the kitchen, it looks interesting to me. A very dope concept, I love it. You know, I love that because I'm foreseeing the future, that the people that are coming. I was talking to the other big guys, because like there's a tendency in Eswatini, people want to fight, you know. And I was like, dude, why are you fighting these young kids, man? You know, these people are, I take it that they're creating clientele for us, you know, because they'll outgrow that, and then what will they do? They'll come to us. So why are you fighting them? Support them. Whenever a kid or something comes to us, we always support. With Deja Vu, we've opened it up for everyone. And I don't think there's any point in time when somebody had come to us and we said no. Unless we can know, would say, no, this won't work for the crowd. For example, we wouldn't let Thobile come and perform Makhoyane at Deja Vu, but Tampuish, you know, because we're protecting her, because like we know the kind of clientele that we're attracting. So it's a whole lot of things that we should understand that as an industry, we need each other and we should know our niche. Okay, this is where I can get it. I'll keep on referring back to the social media awards that, you know, it's sad that you find somebody would criticize Tripo, what in, you know. You can't be in the same sector and then criticize your fellow thing. I mean, in this country, you can't. You can only support them. When somebody is writing bad about people, try to educate them and say, no, dude, no, don't say that. Don't say that. You will need this person. Yeah. But siSwati sithi tindzaba kuphelele tingahlangani.
Siyatsingana. Round of applause to my amazing panelists. Maya siyabonga. I've learned a lot today. I hope, Nani, you've learned a lot. Now we want to hear from you, because Nani and my experts ngalapo. We would like to open the floor to questions.
Afternoon, everyone. My question is particular to Oriiginelle. My question is specific into the hip-hop market in Eswatini. It's normally tough for hip-hop acts. I don't know if there are any hip-hop acts in the room today, but how can we actually come together in a better safe space to grow the industry and also to show people that it isn't the stigma, because hip-hop does have the stigma of it's bad, it's got issues. So how can we come together to show the progressive light into the hip-hop industry in this country?
Thank you for that, even though I can't see you. Okay, there you are. Great. It's so weird. We're actually having this conversation before we came here about how hip hop is just it's an egotistic genre. You know, there's a lot of that. I'm harder than you. I'm cooler. My bars are, all of that. But if we're being honest, this is all an American approach. This is their strategy and how they were able to market themselves. We are a whole different country. I feel like our hip hop is definitely different. So we can definitely we can take another approach. We can collaborate. I'm very big on collaborations. We have a group in Nabo Sarnelo. We're always, exchanging ideas like, yo, you should listen to this. If maybe my producer sends me a beat and Yang Hlula, I will send it over to the next person where Ngivangati, no, this one would actually kill it. So it's that thing of collaborating to eliminate that whole ego thing, because there's really no need for that. At the end of the day, we all have a common goal. We all want to make it in the industry, especially as a hip-hop artist. It's very difficult. It's very, very difficult for our genre because not a lot of people want to pay us what we are, I would like to say, owed when it comes to performing. It's more of your, that are singing. We want to listen to DJs. It's not everyone who wants to hear skr skr and so on, So yeah, I'm definitely going to say collaborating. It's very, very important. It's key in our hip hop industry. Yeah. I hope that answers your question.
Wamumbuto ucondzene nemsuthu. Ngifuna kuva Msuthu ukuthi what avenues of communication are you using between the council and artists? Because I've heard many times whereby there are opportunities that artists don't know about that exist within the council. Ngiyafisa lokwati ukuthi nangaba khona lama avenues ngimaphi, and nangabe anga improve what would be the way forward in terms of communicating between the council and artists?
Sounds like Sizo. Okay, thanks, Mr. Club. Yeah, communications. Yeah, we are as arts and culture. We have established national arts bodies that represent the various arts codes that exist in Eswatini. Like we have for music, your fine artists, so now they become representatives of the arts codes, as in like when and wherever they are in Eswatini. Because we always assume they are national, because even we only recognize them to be national when they have, they have a representation of like the regions. So now our communications, we actually communicate through those arts bodies. And then we also have like associate members who are not like your arts bodies, like your bushfire, the festivals, like your institutions, arts institutions. We also like have those kind of communication through those associate affiliates. And also then like generally we also like communicate using the usual channels like your radio, television, your print, and then there are those that we constantly communicate with. Like we have a directory where we start distributing those kind of communique we have. But yeah, we still feel we still need more, because we have a lot of programs that most of our Emaswati may not be aware of. And probably the president somewhere, he happens to be a president somewhere, they hide that information because they may want to use it for their personal gains. But yeah, so I think it's one department we are like, we've noted as an office that we need to work on probably have a full office, that will do the communique, because, yeah, there's so much we've done, but it hasn't reached that much, yeah. But now we are trying to establish regional, focal points where we are hoping to be able to reach out to the Maswati who are not, within the corridor. Yeah, we are hoping to improve. It's getting there.
Can I add on to what he's saying? Even though this question wasn't for me, there's an answer for this. It's called a portal. Like one of the sponsors or partners for this conference is Music in Africa. Like that website is a portal for creatives in Africa. You can go on there and register and say what you do, where you are, and then put your music there. And then any opportunity that has to do with grants, foundations, you can find all the information there. So it's as simple as just creating a website and then have all the information there. We don't have a shortage of programmers in Swaziland. So I think there's definitely an opportunity for a portal, whether it's created independently or like the government or whoever else builds that, because it will solve a lot of problems, even just us knowing each other.
Thank you. Thank you, Rendi. We have a web page that is active that we have tried to also link with so many other pages where we have,
So you can use that to post the opportunities, like the projects, the funds, anything that has to do with an opportunity for, because most of the young people don't even know where to go.
Also, I think with the Music in Africa, some of us is part of our job as artists to wake up, and when I say I'm working, so it means my day starting, yeah, the routine, good health, yes, best office. Some days I just dedicate into opening for information, like checking out information, opportunities, and maybe from 9 to 12, I am just busy with those sites. Music in Africa, yeah, poster, and I've never seen anything from arts and culture. I've seen arts and cultures from other countries posting, and you can also use that. I don't know if you've posted and I missed it, but I always check like on a daily basis. If I haven't done it in the morning, before I sleep, I'll check what Music in Africa is got for me. And I think arts and culture can use that. And also, maybe you can use Bo Shado. Shado says he follows many of us. So if Anale information, he can just check out, because status Shado is funny, guys. If you want to lower your stress levels, so you can find the information and other guys. Bosolo chalabasnaba postile kubuke bamfla abaningi nalabanye labasnaba postile kubuke bamfla abaningi, so you can share the information. I know we are talking about reshaping the policy, or yeah, that is a very critical period. It needs us. So no nangabe niyabona ukuthi bakhona, but ngiyabekisa sizo akekho. And you know when I go to CISO, it will actually help in creating the policy. Mfune as a council or as a arts and culture. Mfune nize nimthole ukuthi naye siyamfuna. Nihambe niyomfuna. Thobile niyathi usinangabe angekho enombolweni yakhe uyobe ukuphi? Asambe siyomfuna kuphi, because you know they are needed for this. You understand? So yeah, I think you can improve. There's room for improvement, I hope.
Sanibonani. Kwami kohlukahlukile, but ngidacela ukucondzisa kiyo ipanel today. I'm seeing most of musicians in the panel, which is a very good thing. and there's events organizers. It's a good thing, but I'm not seeing DJs. I feel like there's, he's no longer a DJ. I feel like there is some kind of cold war between you musicians and our local DJs. They never play your music. So, angathi ukuthi singenda njani ukuthi bangene nabo by understand level ukuthi ngibo lesifuna sive music kibo. We only listen to Makhoyane's music naba kwendekile bawudlala radio or naka perform. But tonight ngawuphuma somewhere. Maybe I'll visit 2 or 3 places like Eswatini. Kurhula bo DJ, they will never play any song ya original. They will never play any song ya any, even Velemseni or Polosha, no one is going to play that music. Or else I'm mixing ayo or asebenzisela ama acapellas. You understand? So I think we have to find a way ukuthi sihlangane with the DJs. Ngibo labaphethe leliso lesikhiya. Otherwise, without them, our music is there. No one is going to listen to the music. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, it's always been a very touching subject, Leo. We've been saying, Lawutsi, when as artists, when you produce a song, make there's radio edits and then there's DJ edits as well. So give the DJs the music. I think you're right, Store. Give the DJs the music and let them play it. Uhlale la cela ngalo DJ, idlale le ngoma yami. Akubone le gigini, uyabona. Honestly speaking, like I always tell the artists, like I told Pastor and Nwigi, when they took out the first time, summer what Nwigi, it's like, hey, we give one day the song, he must play it before Apume, he must make sure he plays it, you know. And then secondly, as there's producers here, for example, we New Life has got an artist, Antidotes have got music, but the problem is that we do house first. They produce mostly house music, but we don't see them. You know, bring the music and let's play it. And I was expecting that one day they'll be like, hey, Shadow, we've released a whole lot of catalog of music. Let's make it a special night. You know, you guys, the Deep House Conversations, we want to feature, at least feature 2 of our DJs. We will feature them, give them and let the music be played. You know, one point in time, House First 2020, Slaughter played his music from start to finish. A whole set, a whole of an hour. Big event. People were jamming to his music, you know. Not that the Utsilo music, but the music. And secondly, Originelle talked about Utsi. Let's not go into the American culture. Fine, it's hip hop. Yes, we understand. But let's get our indigenous sound that we can get. You see what South Africa has done with the Mapiano, what Nigeria and the West have done with the Afro beats. It's insane. Now we've got an opportunity of creating our own music that's going to trend world over. Thanks.
Can I just answer this quickly? With regards to my DJs, let me tell you my secret as an artist, a hip-hop artist especially. I am aware, Loguti, I won't be booked for all the gigs, but I know that at every single gig, there is a DJ, without fail. So I make it my mission every time when I finish receiving my music, when it's done being mixed and mastered, I ask for Emma separates. Now, Emma separates are for my DJs. So every single song I finish, I say, okay, please create Nama separates so that I can put them all in a folder. I go into Google Drive. Every single DJ that I can access, even if I'm Ngwati, I will bother you because I need you at the end of the day. So I will text you to ask, hey, can I please have your email address? Ngitfole banban, nalo, all their email addresses, and then I'll put it all into one drive. Every time when I release, before I release, so that they get the exclusives, because it's important to make that person feel important, because we am seeing. So I do give them those exclusives to say, okay, listen, I'm gonna drop the song on this date, but you have the separates. However you want to use them, feel free, because I'm aware, I won't be booked and busy. It's hip hop, but I will need people. So it is important for the artist to understand where you stand, you know, and how you need to go and fetch. You can't just sit there and be like, yo, nging original mine batang dlala. No. You guys listening at Pop Sunday, that's me waking up and saying, okay, hey, Opus, can I please send, MK, can I please send you this? Can I please, you know, you don't just hear it just because. So it's very important as an artist to go out there and make sure that you put yourselves out there.
Yes, and know your market. Know your market. My market is there. For example, if your market is on Pop Sunday, this coming Sunday, make sure you're there even if you're not performing. Go there. If you go there, you figure no an hour or so. The photographers are everywhere. They take pictures of you. You know, you can come down to Deep House Conversations even if you don't know that, but you'll find somebody that as a CEO somewhere, and you say, you speak to them and say, have you introduced yourself? My name is Oriiginelle. This is what I do, APCT. I've seen you. Give me an opportunity, you know. Advert, you know. The next time I actually meeting, they'll be like, Basaplana with the creative. No, we need a face. No, man, your name pops up. So we are Kumbula. Then you're part of the billboards, even though I'm not a fan of billboards. But but you can be the face of a billboard, you know.
I'm going to open it up to 2 questions, and with my panelists, Valela, only one gets to answer now. Saying, guys.
Good afternoon, everyone, and to our panelists. My question, which might also be a comment, is based on the talking points, which is where to from here. They've mentioned earlier that, you know, Antidote Music, they have I don't know what I can call it, a database of everyone's contacts. And I feel like the frequency of such gatherings needs to be increased, such that Oriiginelle mentioned that they have a group where they share ideas or beats or something, because all creatives need is to come into the same space together, and normally a brilliant idea can come out of that. Now what you need is creatives from different types. You need DJs, you need hip-hop artists, you need gospel artists, you need the producers, because they come and put it all together without having it being based around a big event like Vukubone. Have it such that it's in a siatana, because it was mentioned earlier, and it's true, because even this gentleman sitting next to me, it's not until the conference came that we truly got to know each other, but we're in the same line of work, and I'm sure a lot of other people can say the same. Should work to our advantage, such that when you bring up an idea or a concept, you're already backed by 5 other people from their own different genres, with their own different audiences. So I think it's more of a suggestion to have more gatherings frequently across different markets, most importantly, because that's how we're going to find what works. That's how we're going to find our recipe as a Swatini. This is a Swatini sound. Thank you.
I'll take that as a recommendation.
My question is actually for everybody. We keep on saying the government, but is it the government's responsibility to tell us of the policies that they have made? Because this problem is, I don't know if it's a problem, but it's actually in every industry. I was attending an export and import conference recently, and people were saying, the government is not telling us, the government is not telling us. But the government has made the policies. Isn't it our responsibilities as creatives to actually go out and find what's out there? Because the government is made up, I don't know of how many people, and we are over 1 million people, are they able to contact each and every one of us to say, yo, there's this opportunity, there's this opportunity? Yeah, that's my question.
I'll take that as a rhetorical question. Last question.
Sanbonan, Ninjane. Before I ask my question, I'd like to pick up the last speaker, my brother Lapenda. Because if we can have these meetings frequently, he does that. So he does artist activations type things. So yeah. My question probably for Angel Malume, the sharp Angel. Is what are we doing there by arts and culture to regulate the industry? And I ask this because for me, it's if the industry is not regulated, we can do whatever we want, but the money will not circulate. An example, Nigeria, I think from the 1st of October, they said no work with my artists like models and voiceover artists like Dopoma from outside Nigeria, like every work in my models and voiceover artists will be in Nigeria. So now the money is going to circulate in Nigeria. There won't be a situation where, because the situation where MTN Wakokimali and paid DJ Khaled to say 2 words. I don't know how much that was, but if it's a local artist, they will pay them 2.5. If a local artist is on the billboard, they'll pay them 2.5. No usage fees, no whatever fees. So if the industry is not regulated, whatever we're doing is null and void. So what are we doing there by arts and culture to regulate the industry?
Ngiyabonga Mshana. I think I need 3 hours to explain what's happening and where are we and where we're going to. But I'll just be brief. We have the Arts and Culture Bill that is in Parliament. One of the objects of the bill is we want to regulate the industry. How do we want to regulate the industry? I'll just make a quick example of music. In music, the proposal is every event must be licensed. The event organizer must be certified. The content or the content of the event, it must be 60-40, 60 in favor of Eswatini, as in the contracted Swazis, not just a list. No foreign artist will just walk in and walk out. Every foreign artist coming into Eswatini must have a local manager. So like as you see in football, or maybe with the courts, no, there's no advocate who will just walk in from South Africa to a Swazi court. So why is that so? It's because we want Eswatini, say there's DJ Tira who wants to perform in Eswatini. DJ Tira must have a Swazi manager who is contracted and is paid to do that job. And that Swazi manager must be certified. So now we are also calling for, we are working with a couple of local universities to do trainings from events management to artist management. So now, we are hoping the Arts and Culture Bill will pass into an act, and we're hoping things will change. It's just, we need your support.
It's not a question, it's a contribution. What I've observed in the years of working in the industry, of course, it's not like a general thing to say it's everyone, but mostly people who have access to resources or information or something that can be vital to the next person often don't share it. We have a big problem in our country of not sharing resources, of not sharing information. Someone will go and get something and it will be like, wow, how did you get this? But there will never be a intentional effort to say, hey, let me tell you how I got this. I don't know if it's a scarcity mindset that we have to think that I shouldn't share because there might not be enough for everyone, but I think those are some of the things that we need to change. For example, if you get a grant or if you get funding, be it inside the country or outside the country, for us to go forward collectively, not unless you're in it for yourself, it is imperative that you pass it down to the next person to say, hey, this is how I did it. And also by me saying that, I'm not encouraging people to be spoon-fed. The reality is no one will spoon-feed you. So you also ought to identify people who have received certain things and make a conscious effort to say, hey, can you assist me? And also to be assisted, it means you need to do something on your own. I always say to someone, if you want me to help you, show me what you have done first. Where have you started? Basically, I just say this to encourage everyone. Kutsi uma kwendeka uthola lithuba or aware of opportunity, lo muntu awuhlala to opportunity yena angasi eligible. You might know someone who's eligible, but not share it. I don't know what's the problem. And also, lastly, then, just to also then put it to Msuthu to say, I think we need to try and help our local creatives in terms of grant writing. Because it's one thing to say they must look for funding. The honest truth is writing a grant is not child's play. Writing a proposal is not child's play. Convincing someone to say, give me your money is not child's play. And I think the least that government can do is say, come, maybe spend a workshop asinifundiseni ukuthi grants abhalwa kanjani, so that when you go and you look for these grants, you are in a better position to write a competitive proposal or application. Because at the end of the day, it is a competition. You must know when you're submitting an application or a grant proposal, you are competing with other people. So you need to be of a certain standard. So maybe we would then be in a position to start to attract more funding from outside. Because yes, it is a reality. Hulumende might not have the financial muscle, kusita sonke, or kusita ngalendlela lesifise ngayo. But there is funding outside. The question is, do we have the capacity to get that funding? And I think that's where we should focus on.
Sorry, Vulan. Sorry, it's me. Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, there you are.
Yeah. Okay, mina ngicela kuhluka kancane ngibisele emuva kancane in the sense yokuthi there's a very confusing thing about our industry, our artists. For example, myself on Facebook ngidaba ngumthunzi Zwane, ngiyeka Twitter ngibe ngu Shadow, ngiyeka Instagram ngibe ngu Shadow Weezy, you know, and it creates a whole lot of confusion, you know. So if you're an artist, the reason why I'm speaking this because like we picked it up when we're doing the social media awards. Somebody will be like Mthunzi Facebook. When it goes to Twitter, it's somebody else. It's difficult for individuals to gather data to understand. So even these funny names or BL, B.L.K, underscore, whatever. Please, I'm asking nicely, please get rid of all that and let our names be very straightforward, because we are confused, you understand? For corporates to know who you are, even not even corporates, other people from outside. Sometimes kuna I, sometimes good I, it's just Q, B, H, O, you know. So it's, please, let's try to be very straightforward and have a clean Facebook, Instagram, whatever account. Please, don't post your mom on your work page, please.
100%. I will take one very last question from Mamba.
I thought you couldn't see me because of the lights. Oh, okay, cool. So mine is directed at Mbaweng Kambule lapha. So ngivile athi Qiniso and the others lana ukuthi okay, we need to find common ground and unify and all of those things. And then I also heard from you ukuthi ke kunale bill, which I believe has been a bill since kusena hlobisile, I think. So what can we do, Tine? Okay, mini proposal yami ukuthi okay for le unit, because obviously umthetho u recognize lama structure are recognized. So you are at the apex. So singenda kanjani ngekulobisha ukuthi ke le bill ishintshe ibe act as soon as possible, and then what do you require from us to help you execute that goal as quickly as possible? Ngoba laba baka copyright itolo bashithi bona ukuthi okay first year ba sensitizer, second year course ephasile le yabo, so we can see movement on that side. But lena le irregulator the whole greater industry yona solo imile. So what can we do to change that just as one task? Yeah. And then Sine will unify behind you as the apex structure, significantly pull because we're already there and when you're already recognized. Yeah, that's my question to you.
Ngiyabonga Mr. Mamba. Yeah, it's been a journey with the Arts and Culture Bill, but we are close. So close, Gogotsi. Anytime, I can't say pasile because last year, bapinze baibisa for Emma reviews and updates, and it's a window, and then we presented. So we are hoping, because from cabinet it has went down to parliament, so it's a one-day tournament. But we are almost close. But all we need from you is the call. I mean, let's lobby. Can we have the Arts and Culture Bill into an act so that it can recognize, I mean, arts as an industry than as entertainment.
Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been the Antidote Foundation Vukubone Music Conference 2022. Please give us a round of applause for being so awesome.